Oh, you know what you got to do is you got to shake it up. There you go. And then, oh fuck! I don't want to talk about how much whiskey I just got on my blazer.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. It is Thursday, which means it's time for Weekly Whiskey After Hours, kind of our quick hitter segment after we have wrapped the live show on a Tuesday night. It is hotter than balls here, so John and I have shed the jackets. We've got some extra pours, and we are looking forward to a good time with you. How you doing, John?
Doing very well. As you said, it is entirely too goddamn hot.
Oh man, I'm dying.
I'll be very, very happy when we've got 50 to 55 degree highs and leaves start coming off trees, which also kind of gets right into rye season and starts making me think about Midwinter's Night's Dram. But, you know, that's just me. I really like to get into the cooler temps and the warmer whiskeys. Ditch the jackets because it's just too damn hot for that. And do a little whiskey review. So, what do you say? Was cracking us some whiskey?
Hell yeah. I mean, this is literally this Thursday tonight on Tuesday, but also on Thursday. Whatever. It's a good time.
I can't do the math.
The math is hard when it's days and letters, but we have something that transcends time, and that is coming to us from the good friends at Barrell Bourbon. If you are familiar with them, they release batches left and right, quite literally like it's their jobs, because it is. And we have batch 30. It's hard to believe that we are already on batch 30, but they have not wasted any time. They're not slowing down. And we have batch 30 of their bourbon, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Barrell Bourbon, batch 30. Do you want to just run through the spec sheet real quick on what is in this product? As I do a little swirl and twirl here.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what you think. So this is, as Barrell is known for, they are masters of blending. They get quite a bit done in the skunk works. If you think that this might be single origin, single age, single barrel, you would be completely wrong. Because Barrell Bourbon Batch 30 is a blend of straight whiskeys. They are at least 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, and 15 years in age. Try and keep that straight in your head. We do not know how much of each, but they usually are pretty good. You know, they don't throw in 1% of this and 99% of this other thing. I would expect pretty healthy quantities of each. And they're coming from the states of Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, and a new one, I believe, Wyoming. We don't see a lot from Wyoming out of Barrell. That's kind of a new one.
Yeah, that's definitely a new one in their portfolio. So I'm excited to see how that goes. On the nose, I do catch some of that Tennessee in there. So it's very obvious that they have their older stock in this one.
Okay. I kind of thought you might.
I think in 28 it was that we reviewed last.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was very subdued, and it really it was a really good balance, actually. I thought 28 was a really good blend. Much more classic profile, but overall really, really nice. And in this one, I'm getting a good amount of spice to it, too, actually. This is coming through with not like the Red Hots that I know end up making you kind of go a little bit cross-eyed and making you go wild, but
they do.
I tend to like this one. There's a little bit of fruit there, good amount of spice, and a pretty solid oak structure from that 15 year. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick read on this thing as you ponder the whatever it was 5 through 15 year blend.
I mean, it's got a little bit of everything at this point. I trust Barrell. They've rolled out everything from weird stuff like Armida to Seagrass to, you know, these blends are their daily kind of bread and butter. The nice part is these are still pretty reasonable. The suggested retail is around that $90 mark. So you're probably going to see it anywhere from 80 to 100 based on your market, who you shop with, whether you're online and premise. And notably, this is still cask strength. So everything is at cask strength. There's no dilution. And it's coming in at 117 proof and change. It's 117.3, which is, you know, downright healthy. That's 58.5, 58.8. No.
Yeah. Solid ABV here. It actually drinks right around that proof, which a lot of their stuff I find, like if you look at something like the thing that I never shut up about, Seagrass or Dovetail, or actually even Armida, really, any of their more crazy finish stuff, I feel like those all drink well below their proof. I think this is pretty much spot on. If you told me it was $1.15 or $1.20, I'd believe either one.
Yeah,
it's like not incredibly hot. It still delivers a lot to the palate. There's a lot of flavors. It's got more fruit to it than the previous couple batches, or the most recent couple batches, I should say. So there's a little bit more fruit. It's a little bit of a brighter overall profile. It carries itself pretty light, and it's got a good dance in the glass, I think.
Yeah, and I think that 110 to 120 range is really nice for American whiskey. You get big viscosity, big flavor. It's strong but doesn't rip your head off. And like you said, it seems like it's showing pretty well. There's a lot of diversity, complexity, nice blend of notes.
Yeah, there is. The Tennessee component that sometimes can drive these is I notice it on the nose, but only in its age. It's not mineral forward or anything that's pushing me away. And that's something that would push me away if it was in there. I'm not a big fan of that particular distillery stuff. So when I get a blend of it in there, I could be a little bit nervous. This is good, though. It's balanced overall. A little bit brighter than the 28. I'd love to do these side by side. If I had 28 sitting right here, I'd pour it. Double check that I don't. No, I don't. I would pour it and try them and say, I think that between the two, 28 might be a little bit more my style.
Okay.
But if I hadn't had 28, I would have to tell you, man, like this, they just keep doing a good thing. Every time they take the time to blend, and like they're not just like chucking stuff into a vat. I mean, everything that they're blending is very intentional. Their process is spot on. I have full faith in anything. I mean, they could send us anything, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, we'll try that. I'm sure it's good. Like,
downright methodical.
I like what Barrell does, and it's funny that you mentioned they're not just like chucking 1% in. In the most recent Bourbon Plus magazine, there's an article, an interview with them. Where they say like we could adjust this by 1%, and I don't know if the everyday consumer would notice it, but we do. And it's just funny that you use that exact number that they had in the Bourbon Plus article. But yeah, overall this is solid. The nose is nice, pretty complex. There's good layers of both sweet and a little bit of spice. Good oak structure. It's not real heavy on the mouth, so it comes through. I don't know if it's just the ethanol that makes it feel a little thin on the palate at first, but once you give that a second, it really kind of opens up into a pretty nice sip. So the finish, medium, I would say here. It's a good product overall. I think they did a pretty good job with this one.
I dig it. So overall, what do you think? Thumbs up? Thumbs down?
Oh yeah, no. Overall, it's a thumbs up. Good product.
Excellent. Well, that's I mean, that's what it's all about. I'm super interested. I'd love to. Some days I just sit down. I'm like, all right, 29 was crazy. What 30 gonna be? We talk about seagrass almost ad nauseum. People just tell us to shut up about seagrass all the time.
Seriously,
but
we should.
The minds behind seagrass are doing other great things, and it's like this is where it started. This is probably where it's gonna end. This is their core portfolio, for lack of a better phrase, and it's good to hear they're killing it still.
Yeah, I like this. It's definitely a little bit brighter, a little bit sweeter, and good overall. And there's a good kick of spice on the back end too.
All the stuff you love, a good kick in the back end.
You got that right, man. I like that spicy kick.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. It's almost Friday. You can make it. Thank you for taking your time to join us here this morning. If you go ahead and try Barrell Batch 30, like it, love it, really don't care, go ahead and let us know in the comments. We'd appreciate if you subscribe. Let us know what you're drinking, what you'd like us to drink, what you're noticing in the world of whiskey. But if you're looking more for John, you can find him at the Bourbon Finder. Mr. John is running up tons of reviews. He's hitting lots of single barrels lately. Super cool. Comparisons. You can find him on Instagram as well as his website. And as always, I am Jay from whiskeyraiders.com. We are your Rotten Tomatoes of whiskey. We have articles, news, reviews, all that fun shit. If you like what we do, go ahead and give us a follow. Go ahead and support us over at patreon.com/thewhiskeynet. And we will see you here every Tuesday and Thursday for great live streams, our after-hour segments that drop on Thursday. And then most importantly, do barrel selections and all sorts of fun stuff in between. So cheers, y'all.
Absolutely. Cheers, guys.